Ah, the sea. So mysterious, beautiful, so, well, our review show begins with me scuba diving in the western Atlantic Ocean in the Caribbean. I'm in front of the stovepipe sponge. Speaking of sponges, I'm going to review SpongeBob SquarePants. Time to take the plunge.
It's the best day ever.
The story. Let's dive into the story. A square yellow sponge named SpongeBob SquarePants lives in a pineapple with his pet snail, Gary, in the city of Bikini Bottom on the floor of the Pacific Ocean. He works as a fry cook at the Krusty Krab. During his time off, SpongeBob has a knack for attracting trouble with his starfish best friend, Patrick. SpongeBob's neighbor, Squidward Tentacles the arrogant octopus, dislikes SpongeBob because of his childlike behavior. In the vast ocean of animated television shows, SpongeBob SquarePants shines as a beacon of sheer brilliance. With its delightful characters, clever humor, and relatable themes, this iconic series has cemented its place as the best show of all time. For over 2 decades, SpongeBob SquarePants has captured the hearts and minds of both children and adults, creating a timeless masterpiece that continues to entertain and inspire generations. The animation. Let's see how the creatures of the deep swim with the animation. Season 1 was the only season to use traditional cell animation. In Season 2, they started to ink, paint, and edit it digitally. Creator Stephen Hillenburg got his start in animation working on Rocko's Modern Life at Nickelodeon, and much of the cast and crew reunited with him on SpongeBob, including creative director Derek Drymon, art director Nick Jennings, supervising director Alan Smart, developer Tim Hill, voice actor Tom Kenny, and writer and voice actor Mr. Lawrence. The animation production is planned at Nickelodeon Animation Studios in Burbank, California, while the animation process is outsourced to South Korea. The characters. Time to meet the sea animals of Bikini Bottom. SpongeBob SquarePants is a yellow sponge who works as a fry cook at the Krusty Krab and spends his time goofing off with his best friend, Patrick. He also behaves childishly. Then we have Patrick Star, the starfish, who is SpongeBob's best friend. He lives underneath a rock. Then there's Squidward Tentacles, the grumpy octopus, who is SpongeBob's neighbor. He hates SpongeBob for his childish behavior and can't stand him. Eugene Krabs, the crab, is SpongeBob's boss at the Krusty Krab. He sometimes cares more about money than his employees to keep his business running. Because of that, he can be greedy and should be arrested for that. Next is Sheldon J. Plankton, who is Mr. Krabs' rival. He owns a restaurant called the Chum Bucket, who will do anything to steal the Krabby Patty formula to get customers at his restaurant since none came. At first, Nickelodeon executives requested SpongeBob to be a child in school. Creator Stephen Hillenburg was ready to walk out on Nickelodeon and abandon the series since he wanted SpongeBob to be an adult character. He eventually compromised by adding a new character to the main cast, Mrs. Puff, who is SpongeBob's boat driving teacher. This allowed SpongeBob to attend school while still being an adult. SpongeBob's last name is SquarePants, but all his relatives are round, except Stanley, who is part square, as it was revealed in Season 5, Episode 20, Banned in Bikini Bottom / Stanley S. SquarePants. Stephen Hillenburg created Sandy Cheeks to be a strong female character who could be a friend to SpongeBob but not a love interest. He rejected Tim Hill's idea to have any romantic elements in their friendship, a theoretical possibility which has been made fun of in Karate Choppers and Truth or Square. Contrary to popular belief, Squidward is an octopus, not a squid. He only has 6 legs because 6 was easier to draw than 8. Stephen Hillenburg has also gone on to say Squidward sounded funnier than Octoboy. Even so, in some foreign dubs, Squidward has been renamed Octo. SpongeBob SquarePants is the only main character who is never absent in every episode of the show, but in the one episode, The Algae's Always Greener, he is absent despite that he really is shown but he's actually from an alternate universe. SpongeBob's name was derived from Stephen Hillenburg's Bob the Sponge from the book The Intertidal Zone in 1984. Bob the Sponge was a prototype character of SpongeBob 15 years before the series officially premiered. Mr. Krabs' birth date is November 30th, 1942. SpongeBob's is July 14th, 1986, as revealed on each character's driver's license in dream sequences in Season 1, Episode 15, Sleepytime/Suds. Karen is named after Stephen Hillenburg's wife. Her voice actress Jill Talley is Tom Kenny's wife. In the French dub, Squidward's first name has been changed to Carlo. Almost every time a character throws something away, glass breaks. The band, Boys Who Cry, is based on the Jonas Brothers. Whenever havoc breaks out, Fred the fish cries, "My leg!" Plankton and Mr. Krabs were best friends as kids. Squidward's name is a play on Edward. Time to dump facts about this series into the ocean. Stephen Hillenburg wanted the SpongeBob SquarePants movie to serve as the series finale to keep it from jumping the shark, but Nickelodeon wanted more episodes due to skyrocketing popularity. Hillenburg stepped down as showrunner and appointed Paul Tibbitt as his replacement, though he still maintained an advisory role, reviewing each episode and offering suggestions. Though the series remained successful, it was considered to have declined in quality following Hillenburg's departure, relying on kid-friendly physical humor and gross-out moments that appealed to no one in particular, and many fans divided the series into pre-movie and post-movie eras. Hillenburg eventually returned to work on the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, and returned to the series shortly after, serving as a writer until his death in 2018. Reception improved somewhat after Hillenburg's return. Around 2009, an early creepypasta story known as Red Mist circulated online. The story told of a supposed lost episode in which Squidward commits suicide, and an accompanying image showed Squidward with photorealistic bloodshot eyes. In 2019, the urban legend was directly referenced in an episode titled SpongeBob in Random Land, where Squidward finds the bloodshot face in a door to another dimension. When Stephen Hillenburg was working as a marine science teacher at the Ocean Institute in California, he created an educational book about sea life called The Intertidal Zone. He created characters based on 2 of his favorite animals, a sea sponge and a whale. Years later, Hillenburg turned The Intertidal Zone into an idea for a cartoon, and the characters became SpongeBob and Pearl. The signal flags hanging on the front of the Krusty Krab do not spell a word. The third signal flag, from left to right, facing the front door, doesn't exist in the International Nautical Code. The first, second, fourth, and fifth are R, I, U, and K, although the U is only right side up. If the flags are read from right to left, inside Mr. Krabs' office is blank, I, R, and M. The blank space has no letter associated with the flag. Back in 2004, Spike TV, which is now called Paramount Network, approached Stephen Hillenburg by asking him to make an adult version of SpongeBob for their adult animation block and would be very similar to Ren and Stimpy adult party cartoon. However, Hillenburg refused to make it and Nickelodeon refused to sell the rights to Spike TV. On July 8, 2012, Ernest Borgnine, the voice of Mermaid Man, had passed away. Since then, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy have not had an actual role in the series. Episodes, however, still mention them as merchandise of superhero costumes and action figures. On May 14, 2019, Tim Conway, the voice of Barnacle Boy, passed away as well. Tom Kenny had done SpongeBob's voice in an episode of Rocko's Modern Life, and Stephen Hillenburg, who also worked on that show, wanted Kenny to use it for SpongeBob. However, Kenny couldn't remember the voice, so Hillenburg played a clip from the episode to remind him and was set on casting Kenny after hearing it. Creator Stephen Hillenburg was dead set against revealing the identity of Pearl's mother. According to Vincent Waller, a plot outline for a special double-length episode revealing Pearl's origin was written during Season 5 and started early development stages. However, the episode was shelved due to Hillenburg's disapproval. The show's creator, Stephen Hillenburg, was a marine biologist. When he pitched the show to Nickelodeon, he brought a fish tank into the boardroom and explained what was living inside. He then placed a cartoon drawing of SpongeBob into the tank and said, "This is SpongeBob, the star of your new show." SpongeBob has played his nose as a flute in Patrick SmartPants, Best Day Ever, Drive Happy, Krusty Concessionaries, and Friendiversary. The show was originally named SpongeBoy Ahoy! Despite internet rumors and trivia, however, it was not renamed because of a SpongeBoy mop. A product by that name simply doesn't exist in any U.S. copyright or trademark databases. Over the years, many fans of the show have asked Tom Kenny to lend SpongeBob's voice to their voicemail and answering machines. In an interview, he joked that these custom messages might be more common than the factory default voice. Stephen Hillenburg based Mr. Krabs on the manager of a seafood restaurant he used to work at. The manager's strong Maine accent reminded Hillenburg of a pirate. Clancy Brown mostly improvised the voice during his audition. Of all the Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy themed episodes, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy 3 is the only one where Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy are not a part of the storyline and only appear in the form of a cameo. Season 1, Episode 14, SB-129, and Season 3, Episode 10, Krusty Krab Training Video feature the credits on a space and a black background, respectively, instead of the traditional underwater background. Sandy's line, "We could be tired than bark on a tree," led one internet humorist to animate a series of parodies in which this surreal expression is repeatedly dropped in among equally surreal characters and situations. Guest stars have included 3 Oscar winners, Ernest Borgnine, J.K. Simmons, and Robin Williams, and 5 Oscar nominees, Michael McKean, Johnny Depp, Pat Morita, Kristen Wiig, and Sigourney Weaver. Bikini Bottom is named after and located under Bikini Atoll, a real coral reef in the Marshall Islands that was the site of several nuclear tests after World War II and was also the namesake of the bikini swimsuit. When series creator Stephen Hillenburg died on November 26, 2018, from ALS Nickelodeon aired a tribute commercial with the words, "Thank you, Stephen Hillenburg, for making every day the best day ever." In South Korea, SpongeBob is called Square Square Sponge, or more often Square Square Sponge Song. The title song needed 4 words to match the music, and most children refer to him the second way. Now it's time for me to go back to the beach. Hope you enjoyed this review because the next one will be good. See you then!
It's the best day.